Voila, and welcome to another episode of Internet Dads. I'm joined by my co-host Rory, who, based on last week's comments, Rory, you've got to start standing up to me about this homeschooling nonsense, mate.
I feel like I do. I feel like I do my best. I mean, I will stand up to you right now. There's no way that you're pretending to be bilingual off the back of that.
Well, listen, I have lost my Duolingo streak now. It was 975 days. I was 25 days short of 1,000, and I actually decided to let it die because I basically was just doing the bare minimum to keep it alive. But actually, you'd be surprised. You go to Spain with me, mate. I won't be speaking English.
Get by.
I won't be speaking English.
Okay, that's impressive. With regard to your homeschooling thing, I mean, I have respect. I often give you the space. It's your world. It's your passion. It's your thing. I think it's crazy. I do think it's crazy.
That's fine.
But equally, a lot of the things I get up to, most people think are crazy. So
that's also true.
So each to their own.
I mean, I watched it back, and I do think, I do get quite emotive and excited sometimes when there's things I'm passionate about. I believe everything I said, but I think I can't, you know this. When I have a clear stance on something, I am actually I try and go above and beyond to make it clear. I don't think I'm right.
Yeah.
I just think this is what I believe, and other people can have something else. That's fine. And I was saying stuff to you which I think probably came across that I did think I was right and you were wrong necessarily. I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, mate, don't.
I think what I meant was
that.
I was just trying to say you haven't considered this element.
No, but Spencer, if you start apologising or even referencing things like this on a regular basis, when friends chat, it gets heated, it gets aggressive, it can get very, very tribal.
Mate, in Bratislava, we had a proper
argument, but that's good. That's life. That's what you're supposed to do.
We won't talk about what that was about.
You're meant to flex your analytical muscle now and again.
I don't think it's an issue with you. I'm more explaining it like for the viewers, because I think I always want to make it really clear that I don't think I'm right versus, and also the religious thing we talked about as well. Like, obviously that's super hot topic. You know, it's going to upset some people. And
my mum was not impressed with that.
No, well, I'm sure she wasn't. I think, to be clear, not to go over it again, but I think what I mean is it's nothing actually to do with religion. It's to do with human constructs. Like, money is a construct as well. And my idea of saying, like, it's I used the word fugazi. I wasn't saying that there's anything wrong with it, or you shouldn't believe in it, or great things can't happen in it. I was saying that, but you have to acknowledge that it's a man-made construct. So I've got this thing, right? It's quite funny because it's to do with kids. So my dad, when I was little, he would do this, like, he had his own sneeze. So when my dad would sneeze, he'd go, abuku, really loud, and it'd be funny, especially if you're out and about, it'd be funny. Yeah. And me being a little, like, must have been sort of 8, 9 years old, I was like, Dad, can I do that sneeze? Like, can I be in the club? And also, I don't know if I wanted to have a secret club with my dad that my brothers weren't in. So I made this thing called the Abuku Club. And it was like, my dad obviously didn't probably care about it. But for me, in my brain, it was a club that only me and my dad were in. And we were the only people that were allowed to go, Abuku, and he sneezed, right? And I've carried it on with my boy now. So I told him to sneeze like that. I'm like, you're the only person other than me and my dad that's in the Abuku Club. So we talk about it. And if he sneezes and he doesn't do the Abuku, I'm like, whoa, you didn't do that? Do you want to lose your membership?
Yeah.
Now, I was having this chat with Alex because she has probably a similar perspective to you on the whole religious chat we had last week. And I sort of said, like, right, so, look at the Abuku Club. I'm not saying it's the same as religion. I'm using it as an idea of something that I just created. It's fairy dust. Doesn't actually exist, right? It's just a concept. So,
but what are you about to do? You're about to draw a parallel between the Abuku Club.
I'm trying to, but it's nothing to do with religion. I'm trying to say
of religious devotion.
Could be about anything. No, but everything started somewhere, right? So one day, someone started a religion. All religions exist like that.
Yeah.
So if you said to me now, I'm in the Abuku Club, and I went, no, you're not, it's my thing, I can't tell you you're not in it because it's not real. Yeah. I could start charging people £100 a year membership to the Abuku Club.
Maybe you should.
Right? And people may pay it, people may not pay it. And 1,000 years from now, there could be buildings for Abuku worshippers.
Every now and again, it's a great moment on this podcast because our natural personas, you are the straight-laced, clean, intelligent, non-controversial Spencer, and I am the slightly left field, slightly unpredictable, often wrong Rory. And then occasionally we have a conversation. I'm like, wow, I'm the sane one of us.
I don't think that's true because I literally have a football team called #United. I've always been controversial.
No, every now and again, it's great. It's a great moment where I kind of rationalise our friendship. And I think most people listening to this would concede that I am the sane one. For maybe the first time in my life, I am the sane one. I am the anchor of this podcast.
I mean, not to get myself in more trouble again, but there's a lot of people that would say my stance on religion is more sane than yours.
Mate, you've just done 5 minutes on the Abaku Club.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
ever-
comparing it to a social construct. Money is a social construct. If I give you a piece of paper and it says £100 on it, it's not worth anything unless you believe it is.
No, but isn't it directly linked to the value of gold? Isn't that where
That was
it
the
comes
original idea, yeah. And if you actually look on the paper, it even says
from? You
on
can
it.
redeem it.
Yeah.
So it is linked to something.
Well, the value of gold, what's that? How do they come up with that?
What do
It's
you mean?
all an idea. What's the inherent value of gold?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But you don't need to know.
Well,
Gold is worth money. What are
Some
you doing?
people do need to know.
I mean,
People like me want to know.
Gold is
People like you
expensive.
don't wanna
Diamonds
know.
are expensive. Diamonds
Yeah,
are a girl's
why?
best
They're
friend. Some
expensive.
things in life are free.
I guess
This is what.
a diamond to a girl's a friend. That's enough for me. No, but it's supply and demand, right? So the value of gold is linked to how much people want it, and there could be inherent physical attributes that make things worth things. Same as oil, whatever. Like if oil suddenly started coming out of everyone's taps tomorrow, what would happen to the value of it?
I don't know.
It would go down
It would go
dramatically.
down
Because
dramatically.
there'd be more of it.
Yeah. No, I get that, but sometimes it is what it is.
Sometimes just crack on. I know,
Sometimes
I know,
just crack
I know.
on.
Maybe you're right.
Sometimes just crack on and get on with it and be terrified because we're nearly at the school holidays.
You know what I just thought of, it's so Rory, is the English like keep calm and carry on. That is just you, isn't it?
Just get on with it.
Yeah, just crack on.
But do you know what? I reckon that's a great mantra. Do you know, just like pull yourself together. You know, these days,
I'm not falling apart at the seams here. I'm
these
perfectly
days,
happy.
not enough people just pull themselves together. That there is a place where sometimes we can't, and of course I'm very sympathetic to that. But I'm convinced that if more people just got on with it, everything would be easier. Everything would be better. Just get on with it.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to work today. Go to work and shut up.
You've tapped into something quite deep and primal there, and it's like humans basically are designed to always struggle. We always struggle, and there's a phrase that people say now. It's like choose your struggle. Your struggle can be that you hate your job. Your struggle could be that you love your job, but you don't earn a lot of money because it's hard to have those sort of jobs. Your struggle could be, everyone has an inherent narrative in their
I have
brain.
one struggle in my whole life.
What's that?
My children.
Reaching things on high shelves.
Yeah. Height. Away from height. Kids.
Well,
It's the
you're
only-
in the right place.
It's the only stressful thing in my life, really.
And you've got school holidays.
It's
Like-
but it's when you've spoken before about worry, and I think there was quite a good clip I saw of you on this podcast talking about never not worrying about your children. It's going to be a perennial worry when you're 70 and they're 30, you're going to have the worry again and whatever else. And I sort of thought, that is true. Not that you change it. It's a worry that keeps me going. It's a motivating worry. It's something that I find quite inspiring. But the only actual thing that I really worried about is kind of my nan and my children. They're the only actual...
Yeah, people you love.
Yeah.
And it's also a gift to be able to worry. Think how many people there are that would love to be able to worry about kids, but they can't have them.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they don't have them anymore. All they wish they could worry about them.
That's
So
very true.
you have to, like I said in that clip, you've got to always spin it. Use your negative emotion to create a positive one.
Yeah.
But this is my last non-school summer. You're ahead of me on this.
Mate,
How do you do
It's
it?
so bad.
What do you do all day?
It's going to be horrific.
Like,
It's gonna be
seriously,
horrific.
what do you do with
Mate,
them?
do you
Where
know-
do you put them?
Mate, it's really bad, man. It's really terrible. It's going to be so, so bad. We are going to have to somehow juggle 2 children for 8 weeks without any help. And Clementine, guess what she did? And
What'd she do?
I couldn't really deprive her of this because she asked me in such an articulate, grown-up way, but she explicitly said no clubs. Don't want to do any clubs.
Oh, you got to put your foot down, mate.
No, but she's effectively said, look, I want a break. No, I don't know what she wants a break from, but she's kind of
Stresses at school.
Yeah, she's 6. She's gone, I want a break. I don't want to do any
You were
clubs.
just talking about people just crack on and go to work. You need to have a word with your daughter, mate.
I know.
You used to crack on and go to a club.
I know, but I feel like she's worked really hard at school. I got a report, and the report nearly
Got
made me
burnout
cry.
at 6.
Mate, the report nearly made me cry. I got a note from her head teacher, and honestly, it made me cry. It was the nicest, kindest, most heartfelt message I've ever seen, and it really hit me so hard. And as she said, no clubs, and I was like, oh, she don't want to do any clubs. She just wants to be at home. She likes to play out where we live. We've got a holiday booked next week,
Yeah.
so we got one week down.
Yeah, that's fine.
1 week's in the bag, right? We're going to the same the holiday destination I was talking to Tennessee about.
Yeah.
Going to go there. So that's in the bag. That's going to be 1 week easy. Then got a poker trip to Barcelona and I'm going to take them all.
Are you taking them?
Taking them.
That would be decent.
So
what are they going to do all
another
day
week.
when you're sitting at the table?
I'm going to go a couple of days early.
Okay.
So Victoria will have to deal with them on her own.
My thought immediately of that, as someone who's done that as well, would be go early and then they go home.
That's what's going to happen.
Oh, you're going to? Good.
That's what's going to happen. I think Victoria has one day. So day one, I sit down. Victoria goes home the following day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because she'll have got everything she needs to get out of Barcelona by then. It'll be so hot as well.
It'll be so hot. Yeah. Also, it's pretty much a beach holiday for us, I think.
Yeah.
Like the idea of actually kind of manoeuvring around Barcelona and seeing the beauty of the Gaudi stuff. Like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that with Clementine and Panda. It's just not going to happen.
Well, if I end up on that trip as well...
Bring the kids.
You also get to see my Spanish, even though they do like the Catalonian language over there.
Yeah. Mate, you can definitely try and do it. But you might get squirted with a water gun.
By Clementine, yeah.
No.
Clementine. No, who?
By Barcelona residents.
Is that what they do?
They hate, especially you.
Why?
They'll see you. They'll see you and they'll be like, this guy's so obviously a tourist. We're going to squirt him with a water gun.
Not seen my tan
and
recently.
they will say to you, tourists, go home, and they will squirt you with a water gun. Quite rightly.
Did this happen to you?
No, it wouldn't happen to me because they would think I was Spanish.
Why?
Look at me. I obviously have... Mate, think about the blonde Spaniards. Look at me. I'm obviously looking more Spanish than you.
I mean, I hadn't
Think about
considered that.
Guti.
You're the most English man I know.
Think about Guti. Think about Torres. If you saw me walking down the street in Barcelona, you would obviously go, he's Spanish. They'd see you. They'd be like, this gringo, get out.
Your clothes is very English, though, aren't they? You've got the penguin. You're always in the English gear.
To a degree. I wear the trainers that I'll be wearing there. I've got new trainers for my holiday.
Oh, yeah?
They're Hoff. They're Spanish. So they'll look at me. I'll be wearing Hoff trainers. They'll be like, this guy, Spanish.
But then they'll
see
talk,
you.
and I'll speak in Spanish and you won't. So.
I don't think you can speak.
Mate, you'll see.
You know your hola as we opened up?
Yeah, but I did that. I Del Boyed that. It was a Del Boy hola.
Either way, you'll get squirted with a water gun.
Fine.
We'll
It'll probably be quite nice, actually.
Yeah, that'd be
so
refreshing.
Hot. But you mentioned there, something we were talking about off air about, well, you looking Spanish apparently, and the sun obviously in Barcelona. You were talking to me about some clip you've seen.
Yeah,
about
I saw a ridiculous clip, and lo and behold, I saw something absolutely ridiculous on the internet. I didn't even think of it as controversial. It was just, this person is so wrong. Everybody else is so right. I tell you the story, and unsurprisingly, you align yourself with the lunatic.
I didn't say I align myself. I said I think you'll find this topic is more nuanced than you think. But go on, tell the people.
So the story is, there was this incredibly viral clip of somebody very famous who I've never heard of. I think from The Only Way is Essex, but potentially from The Only Way is Chelsea, or potentially from...
The Only Way is Chelsea?
Potentially from one of the other many idiotic celebrity shows. The girl has said that she will never, ever put Suncream on her child. And I thought, okay, well, that means you obviously give them the shade. And you're like, and her logic was, no, the Suncream is more damaging to your children than the sun. They have not only said this, but they've said it on a broadcast. And then I've told you the story. And now you're going to tell me where you sit on this debate.
Okay. First of all, there's a lot of factors to consider here. And this is coming from someone very good, very good, which is what I would typically wear as someone who's very white and does burn easily. So, first of all, I'm speaking as someone who has skin cancer in the family. My dad has been suffering from skin cancer for over a decade. I'm speaking as someone who has a huge scar on his left arm from where I had a mole removed, which wasn't cancerous.
That's terrible craft work from the surgeon.
It was terrible from the NHS. It was terrible, actually.
That's unbelievable.
You know what happened?
Done that. It's like Freddy Krueger.
So my dad got skin cancer, and he has had so many things chopped off of him over the last decade. He's got a bit of his earlobe missing. He's got a huge scar on top of his head. Got things everywhere, right? And you know, he obviously, it's something you sort of live with, and you have to be very careful with, obviously. When that happened, I had a mole, and the mole was only like, honestly, smaller than a fingernail, right? But it was getting scratchy, and it was becoming enlarged and things, and especially when you've got history in the family, you need to get it checked out.
You were good to keep aware of it.
Yeah, well, my dad's situation made me more conscious of it. So I went to the hospital. I went to doctors first. They looked at it. They said, you need to take a biopsy of that, which is how you find out if it's cancerous. I take the appointment.
Jesus, mate.
I go to the hospital. This is like 10 years ago, maybe. I go to the hospital, and they have a number of different ways they can do it, but they have this sort of like spoon thing. It's like a little spoon. You can take a bit of the thing off, send it off for a test. So I'm just sort of assuming that's what they're going to do with me, because there's no sign of it being cancerous necessarily. It's only like that if it's a tiny little mole. And I get in there, and then first thing they do is obviously they make a mark on your arm, make sure they get the right arm, which should be easy in this case. It's the one with the mole, exactly. Yeah. But they put, so this is the mole, and they draw genuinely a tennis ball size circle around the mole, like serious amount of space either
circumference
side.
around her feet.
And I'm looking, I'm like, that's not how much you're cutting off, are you? They're like, no, it's just for us to see. I'm like, okay. And obviously they numb it all. And I, because you're conscious, I don't really want to watch my arm getting carved up. So I decided to look away. And I'm talking to the surgeon, I guess, throughout. And this was about a week or 2 weeks before the first Sidemen charity game, which I was playing in. And I was saying, like, what's the crack then? Can I do exercise and stuff after this? Thinking they're just taking a little bit off. He was like, you should really give it 2 weeks before you're doing the exercise. Because when you have an open wound, if you sweat, you can get infected. And I'm like, hang on. What you done over there? Because I'm accepting something that's not that intrusive. And he's like, no, you've got an open wound in your arm. So I look over and they've taken a chunk that's big out of my arm.
It's such bad craftsmanship.
This is, again, I love the idea of the NHS and I love, the concept of it, but it has to work.
Yeah, don't worry.
And unfortunately, in this case, there was a huge mistake where someone on their end thought they were taking a cancerous mole out, so they had to get it all out. When you get it all out, you have to go deep.
So
they've taken this whole thing out. Guess what? It wasn't even cancerous when the test came back.
Oh my God.
So I end up with this huge hole in my arm, and I made it worse because I was like, no, I'm playing in the Sidemen game. So I actually played the game with the hole in my arm. I had a big plaster on it that just fell off.
It's appalling, man.
And then it got infected. So it got infected, and that's why it looks rubbish. And the skin is still never recovered. Like, it's still numb there as well. But anyway, long story short, we have skin cancer in our family. But what I was going to say to you is, so there is a school of thought about the chemicals in sun lotion being bad for you, right? And we use sun lotion on our kids, but we use chemical-free one. It's a slightly different version, right? Second of all, your skin tone and your hereditary, like genetic likelihood to get skin cancer is a huge consideration in that conversation, right? Not everyone needs to throw factor 50 on. If you're like me, you probably should, but other people don't. So again, that's an important thing. I am someone who is trying to move towards as little chemicals as possible. We were literally talking about it off air about people that dye their hair, weren't we? And like that is something that I, try and avoid is too much of that sort of stuff. I've got a little bit of an anecdotal reference. If you live in like Australia, New Zealand, you've got to put it on.
It's called slip, slap, slop.
Is that your technique?
No, that's what it's called in Australia. It was, the only reason I know that is when I was at university, we studied one of the most successful marketing campaigns ever.
Right.
And apparently slip, slap, slop was it's the phrase that every Australian has heard it. It really worked as a marketing campaign to make sure that Australians put Suncream on. That's the phrase that kind of went.
It's also how me and Al got pregnant as well. No, so you've got to do it in those countries. Ozone layer is whatever, lower, lesser, whatever, you get those things. And also, I think there's another bit of evidence to prove there's some women particularly, I think, that wear sun lotion every day, regardless. Because
my moisturiser has SPF in it.
Well,
and
apparently,
I
it's
wear
really
that in the
good.
rain.
Apparently, it's really good for stopping wrinkles and stuff long term because that is coming from sun damage. So there's a school of thought for it. But then who knows about the secret, if you're someone that is anti loads of chemical intervention, who knows about what's happening underneath all that stuff. When I worked in Saudi Arabia a few years ago, I was there for 2 weeks, right? And this is completely anecdotal. Don't come after me, scientists who know everything. I'm not saying this is true, factual information. I'm just giving you my evidence. I've never really tanned that way. I burn if I'm not careful. So I've always worn a lot of sun lotion. So previously I would not hide from the sun, but if we were on holiday, she tans amazing. I'd sit in the shade.
Me too.
This time I was starting to look at it differently and I did an experiment. So when I was in Saudi, it was 48 degrees, right? It's ridiculously hot. Well, obviously you're in an air-conditioned room all day. So we worked in the evenings because it was so hot. So every morning I had some time to myself. And every morning I'd go and gym, a little routine. And then I would go up to the pool, which was on the roof. And it was quite early, so it wasn't yet 40. It was probably like 40, not 48. Super hot. And I would lay on my front, 0 suntan lotion, right? And I would set a timer of 6 minutes. And then on 6 minutes, which is a small, tiny amount of time, I would flip and do my back. I was only in the sun for 12 minutes, right? I did that every day for 2 weeks. Not only did I never burn, I had a suntan that lasted about 10 months. It didn't leave me. There's something in the short bursts of exposure to the sun. Now, who knows what's going to happen to me long term? It might be a terrible idea. I might be dead in 10 years. But it's really good for getting a tan. Short, consistent bursts over a period of time. So if I'm ever in... Because everyone looks better with a tan, let's be honest. But if I'm ever in a warm environment on a regular basis, that's how I'm going to do it. Short, intentional bursts of sun without lotion and then get out the sun.
Really?
The problem is people sit in the sun for 10 hours. That's why you need suntan lotion. They overdo it.
I am so respectful of the sun's power.
It's very powerful.
I just keep out.
Think how hot it actually is when you get close to it.
You'd be dead.
It's mental.
Mate, have you ever touched the oven?
I have done, yeah.
Burnt my arm when I was like young.
And I heard the sun is actually hotter than the oven.
It would probably,
yeah.
But I honestly keep out. I put on factor 50 and then I sit in the shade. I've got a cap that I wear that has a bit of material that hangs off the back.
God, of course you have.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
I just wear a t-shirt. Like, in the pool, I go for a swim in that. I just wear just swim in a t-shirt.
That is Brits abroad, man. They see you in Barcelona, they know you ain't Spanish.
I just swim in a
You're
t-shirt.
wearing that.
I go in the sea in a t-shirt. I don't take a t-shirt off.
You're giving me stick for my sliders and stuff when we're abroad, and you're going around like that, like a 70-year-old man.
I'm not getting sunburnt.
Yeah,
I'm
fair
not
enough.
risking it. I've got a paddy complexion, haven't I? Right.
Yeah.
I've got a real paddy complexion. I'm not meant to be in that heat. Like, my natural disposition is nowhere near that.
Isn't it interesting though? We're both in the same boat, but like also we're all from Africa originally, right? So we lost all that when the migration happened. How many thousands of years ago? Something happened to our pigmentation, right? When we came to these parts of the world, so we lost it. Because my personal belief is that there is something holy.
What are you on about?
Do you not know that, right? You don't know that.
You've done it again.
You don't know that all humans are from Africa. That's not my fault that you don't know this stuff.
No.
Saffron, will you tell
It's
him?
not whether look. If you want to go back, like, what are you on about?
I'm saying
I am obviously like.
We
if you want to
didn't
go back
start
to the
like
origins of the species, you might be making.
we didn't
but
start
I
like this.
obviously.
No, I'm not saying
I've
that
got
you
a dad from Ireland and a mum from London. Like, I'm obviously not from Africa.
I'm not saying that you need to get in the sun war. I understand. So your theory that you're not made for the sun is true, like, because you've lost the pigmentation over thousands of years. So you are right about you. What I'm saying is, if you look at the humans as a species, like, I don't think we're supposed to be out the sun. Like, we've had to evolve because of it. But like, look at all the studies about happiness or higher suicide rates in countries like that have the 30 days of night, like the Faroe Islands and Iceland and all these places. Like, they just don't have sun. And I am certainly someone that, I wouldn't say I suffer from SAD, seasonal affective disorder, but I certainly get happier when the sun's out, like most of us do. So I think there's an inherent, like, almost human, like, right to be in the sun. You just have to be responsible because we've been out of Africa.
So
for
would
too
you
long.
put sun cream on your children?
Yeah, he wears sun cream. Our kids wear sun cream now, but
Do you wear sun cream now? No.
it depends how long I'm in the sun for. If I'm going in the garden for an hour, so I actually did. I'm actually embarrassed that I did burn recently, which is stupid. I was in the garden and I was painting the fences in the garden.
Go on, what a man.
But obviously, when you're painting a fence, you're facing one way for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I kind of knew I was going to burn, and I
went with it anyway.
I put my t-shirt on too late, and my front was completely unburned because in that way my back was absolutely red. Terrible. I'm really embarrassed by that, and that is not advisable.
It's the worst. It's got to be up there with like the worst pain that you can suffer.
Oh, mate.
It's just the worst, isn't it?
When I was a kid, I burned really bad, and again, look at him. Ultimately, my dad's got skin cancer, right? We have got this condition for it, the skin for it, but he also used to own we had a sunbed in our house. You know that?
Oh, like
growing up, we had a
and Rodney.
sunbed
Do you
in our
remember when
house.
Del Boy turned up the thing on Rodney?
Now, I never used it, but my older brother used it a bit, and my dad definitely used it.
Well, they used to be a thing everywhere. Do they exist anymore? Sunbed shops?
Well, yeah, there's loads of them where I live.
Saffron?
Bloody hell, come
Saffron,
to
they
Essex,
exist?
mate. Come to Brentwood, mate. Every other shop is a sunbed shop.
They still exist.
It's terrible.
Are they fronts for something?
Probably money laundering, mate.
Yeah,
like
they
Turkish
can't be.
barbers.
How many people can
Now,
possibly...
in Essex, they're actually busy. In Essex,
Are they?
They're like, yeah, mate. Have you seen it?
Mate, I find that Essex culture. Sadly, I wish you represented it more, but you don't, which is probably why we're friends. But I find it like the most amazing social experiment.
Incredible
ever.
creatures. Incredible.
Do you know? I was at a party the other day, and somebody walked in who was obviously that, like, you know, those nutty teeth, like those mental teeth. And just like that whole persona, those shoes where like the sole is one colour and the trainer is the other colour.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing. So I might come to Brentwood one day and
Have
just
a look around.
treat it as some people go on safari.
No, there used to be
I'll
a
come to
Towie tour.
I'll come to Brentwood.
I think they've got rid of it now. But
Oh,
like,
where you
'cause
go to like the Sugar Hut.
No, because so that's closed down. It's actually for sale if you're interested. But there was a Towie tour that people would come on, like Hindus and stuff.
What? Joey Essex lived here.
No, because they've all got shops, haven't they? So there's like one of them's got a shop at one end of the high street. One of them has a clothes shop at the other end. One of them's got a nail salon. So you'd go and you'd meet them. You'd meet them. Well, a quick segue. We have got a dad diary, I guess, dad question that's come in. And it says this: we have our first baby due in 6 months.
Oh God!
What's your top 3 preparation tips? Well, this is the perfect time to tell you about today's sponsor, Loop earplugs. Rory, obviously, it's not our first time working with Loop. They've changed your life, genuinely. Loop Dream, talk to me.
It is genuinely the first thing that I recommend to anyone who's having a baby. It's the first thing. It's the most important thing. The advice that I will always give is make sure that each individual adult gets some sleep. The only way that you're really going to do that, unless you have some sort of massive mansion, is by using these loop earplugs. They're also fantastic for me because I happen to be a side sleeper.
Same.
And it doesn't affect anything. You know, when you put your head on the pillow, they are
because
so...
if you sleep on the side and you use like traditional headphones and things, they just fall out, don't
Yeah,
they?
these
Really
don't.
annoying.
These don't, because they fit so snugly into that little crevice in your ear that you don't even know they're there. It's even got to the stage now where, when we go away, for example, you and I were in Bratislava, when I'm packing, I pack them. It's the first thing that I need in order to get a good night's sleep. Like, look at them. Snazzy, easy to use. Look at this. It's like a fashion accessory. You just, there we go. You pop it in. Oh, it's so comfortable.
Snug.
Sorry,
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
No, but that's the beauty of it. It seems to like cancel out the noise that you want to cancel out. Look at that as well. Comes in a snazzy little package, easy to take abroad. Genuinely couldn't recommend these highly enough.
What I like about them, as you know, I'm someone that takes my fashion very seriously, is that they are a great fashion accessory. Generally, they look very cool in the ear. And yeah, they've got that sort of locking system. So as you put them in, you twist it and they stay in, they're gonna do the job.
I'll be disco-teching with my loops in.
So specifically, I'll talk about the Switch. I'm talking about the Loop Switch 2, new and improved. And I'll tell you what I like about it. It has these 3 noise reduction modes that can adapt to pretty much any setting. And like I said, they're perfect for events, busy environments, or if you're just someone that's sensitive to noise around you. Well, guys, tap the link in the description and use our very special discount code. It's LoopX-InternetDads20. It's worth it because it gets you 20% off. Okay, so that's our first tip. Second tip, Rory?
Divide and conquer. Go into the spare room, make sure that you split up, allow your wife or your girlfriend to sleep through the night one night, and you totally do one night.
But this is not before the baby, right? So this is what you're going to do as soon as the baby comes?
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as the baby comes.
Yeah, I don't
So the second that the
disagree.
baby comes, what you don't want to be doing, and we made this mistake, is you both wake up every time. You both get up. You're both involved every single wake up. What I think you need to do, and it will feel very natural to be involved at every wake up, but ultimately you're going to have to sleep. So when you can, express some milk, you do the night, totally let your wife or girlfriend sleep, and then do the same the other way around.
Yeah.
Like let your wife just do it, and you go to the other room and sleep for 8 hours.
And if it is going to be something you do, start getting your head around it, because a lot of people, as we've discussed before, have got preconceptions around the idea of not sharing a bed anymore, but it's a means to an end. It's a practical solution.
And it's totally unsustainable. If you both wake up every wake up, the wake ups could happen 3 times an hour
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Fair enough. And then my third one, I think I will say, if you haven't already, sit down with your partner and have very sort of deep discussions about what you want parenting to look like, who's going to do what are your expectations. You can even tie into that discussions with grandparents around where they can and can't help you, and be very deliberate about that, because listen, you can make anything work. If we've known anything about the world, it's that, you know, everyone has kids, or a lot of people have kids, and they find a way to make it work. But if you can get those things ticked off early, you're in way better shape, in my opinion. Like
Completely.
for the mum, what's her expectations around her work career and things like this, and where you're going to help and where you can't help. You know, have you got grandparents nearby? Can you even, like, if you're lucky enough to have grandparents that want to help and also maybe haven't had loads of grandkids before, can you kind of formalize the agreement a little bit and just be like, look, can you do one day
Every
a week?
Tuesday is...
Yeah, it makes such a difference, mate. We've just got to the point now where our youngest is in nursery as well. So we actually have days in the week where we could theoretically do things together, which is like just alien to us.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You forget, don't you?
It's still, and that's only luckily because of our job and we run our own businesses. We could do something at midday, for example. Like most people don't have that option. We can't really do things in the evening necessarily unless we get babysitters, but we have this time that we didn't have, and it takes years to get it.
Yeah.
So if you can plan and then just know, you're in the trenches for a bit and get out. That would be my advice.
That's I think the most important thing that you just said. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be knackering. It's going to be exhausting, but you will be all right.
Yeah, agreed. Rory, people have been seeing Oasis. It's all been everywhere on social media. I know you were quite keen to go. Have you managed to get anything?
No, nobody cares about me. I can't believe how wrong I've been about something else. Any gig in my whole life that I've wanted to go to, I've always gone to. I've always got tickets. I've never worried. You know, when things go on sale and everybody's suddenly panicking, trying to get online, I always just relax. By the time it comes around in a year's time, there'll be tickets galore. You'll always get in.
Crazy.
And this is the first time in my life that just hasn't happened.
Well, my brother Seb, as you know, we had him on the pod. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this. He's about to turn 40. It's his 40th birthday in a matter of weeks, right? And I've been on it. And what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, for me, you've got to take the moment. I know some people get funny about their age, and I might when I hit 40. But like, ultimately, I did at 30 for sure. But I think 40 more than 30, you've got to do something like to celebrate it. So I'm saying, and me and my other brother saying to him, what we doing? And he's been a bit non-committal, maybe because he's thinking about it too much. But he did say, I'd love to go to Oasis. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do that then. That's what you want to do. We'll do that. 1,500 quid
No, but you
for a
can't.
ticket.
But also, you
1,500 quid a
can't
ticket.
get them.
I love you, Seb, but I don't love you that
You
much.
actually, I just assumed that the first night at Wembley, right? I was just thinking the first night at Wembley, very easy for me to get to Wembley. I will go down there. I will find a towel. It will be fine. And it just won't be. It just won't be. Like, it's got to the stage now where you can see the sell-on value. You can see what's happening. It won't be fine. And I've never, ever had this experience before because I could have got them, but I didn't know what was going on. Do you remember all that scandal, dynamic pricing? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I actually ended up in the front of the queue to get some for Dublin, but I watched the price move and I thought it was like some witchcraft. I was like, wait, this is bent. I'm getting scammed.
Yeah.
So I chose not to do it because I was watching the ticket price rise. So I didn't get them, and it was such an error because now I just don't have anyone. Do you know what I've even resorted to?
I think you can get them, mate. You just got to be prepared to pay that sort of level.
1,500 quid is meant. I literally can't afford.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think there's anything I would pay that for. Like England World Cup final. If I didn't have tickets,
I'd pay.
I'd try and always back myself to get tickets because of the industry we're working for that.
Yeah, but mate. See, you're a man about town. I'm clinging onto your coattails. Nobody's giving me.
Me and my pal went to the Euros final in Germany last year. The game was on the Sunday. We only found out last minute we could get tickets. We'd been to the semi-final, so we got tickets to the semi-final. I took him with me. It was a work thing, but I took him as my +1, and we sort of made peace with it. We might not be able to watch the final, but we got to.
I was at the one in Dortmund.
Was it Dortmund against
Holland?
Yeah. So we got to see the semi-final. We made peace. We might have to watch the final. Actually, it wasn't even making peace. We'd arranged with my family all to watch the final together, so I was really looking forward.
And then we got there, and you were like, "I have to go."
Well, it wasn't that. It was I got a phone call Friday night. And my mate, and he's like, "There's a brand. I can get you 2 tickets." It's Friday night. The game was on Sunday, right? No flights. So we, 11 p.m., got in my pal's car and drove to Berlin.
Yeah, that's so far.
We drove all through the night. No, we drove all through the night. I think we arrived in Berlin at like 5 p.m. on Saturday. Obviously, went straight out. We've got to make the most of it.
Yeah.
So had a night with no sleep. And then we went to the final. Obviously, we lost it. But we'd find a way to go. We're very fortunate to get these opportunities. But Oasis...
But if you hear of any Oasis tickets, particularly for that first day, I need a standing ticket the first day at Wembley.
If I hear of any first, I'll offer my brother because he wants to go for his birthday, obviously. But you could be maybe...
But then maybe me.
Maybe deep, down the line.
What, does he want to go to that one or does he want to go...
I think he wants to go Wembley. I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean...
With your brother for his 40th, you could do Dublin.
Do you know what? This is going to make me sound really old. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. And I did that. I'm a big It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan, and I went to watch their podcast live, and the London one sold out. So I bought tickets to Dublin and just flew to Dublin to watch it.
Do you know what I'm considering if my Oasis dream doesn't materialise? What do you think of this as a plan? Come. Buenos Aires.
Oh, they love Oasis.
They love it. Mate, when I was a kid, I had the VHS, right, of Familiar to Millions, it was called. It was like the Oasis tour when I was young. And in the video, they would cut to everywhere else. Like, so it was the gigs that you could see, and then it did like past gigs, Main Road and Nebworth and whatever else. But in this video, it then cut to all of the clips from around the world, and Buenos Aires was one of them at the Bombonera. And this is when I was young. I remember watching that, and it was the two that really struck me was the passion in the crowd in Rome and the passion of the crowd in Buenos Aires.
And there's a link there because Argentinians are Italians.
Yeah,
as a culture.
Yeah, and I was just
they
thinking
go mad for it, don't they?
I might go. I'm thinking, I've never been to Argentina.
Oh, it's on my bucket list. South America. I've never done it.
Mate,
I'm
why don't we go? Do you know what? It's
I
very
had 2
near.
trips to Brazil cancelled in the last year, basically.
It's very near to the poker series in Vegas, so we could go Oasis.
Near to Vegas.
Oasis
Argentina.
in Buenos Aires. From Buenos Aires to Vegas for poker.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. I want to do
Internet dads on tour.
I've got some bucket list stuff I need to tick off, to be fair. Not getting any younger, but this is going to make me sound really old, right? But I'm a big music man. I love especially like older music, but I really don't enjoy gigs that much. Like I hate standing up for long periods of time, like and my back starts to hurt, which makes it sound old, but it's true. I'll always buy a seated ticket if I can. No,
I want standing, but I do. Do you know what I'm slightly intimidated about? I've been to see Oasis a lot over the year. Like I've seen them, probably the band I've seen the most.
It's not going to be better than that, is it?
I think it
So
might
when
be
I go and
because
see
we've
Bob
waited
Dylan,
16 years.
I go to Bob Dylan,
Did you see the footage from Cardiff, man? They looked amazing.
Yeah, but what? Yeah,
They looked amazing. And I haven't seen it for 16 years.
yeah. You've got the sort of brothers coming together vibe.
Yeah. But mate,
powerful.
do you know what I don't like, particularly anymore? Do you know how it's become like this Oasis geezer thing? Like, especially in London. Like, you can imagine something mental happening, like Millwall call it on with West Ham at Wembley or something. You know, it'll be like
at the Euros as well. There's a lot of people going that are just going because it's a cultural movement. They don't actually even probably like Oasis that much.
Yeah,
I don't want any part in that.
Yeah.
I do love Oasis, and I've listened to them more maybe than most other bands in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can make peace with not going.
Do you reckon this is true? In terms of whether they're your favourite music act or not, isn't the question. The question is best 10 songs. It's hard to beat.
I
believe that if you're just picking the best 10 songs of any band
Beatles.
ever, I think that Oasis best 10. So whatever you believe the best 10 are, Slide Away, Supersonic, Stand By Me, whatever you think they are, I think that Oasis as a top 10, nothing comes close.
I think maybe only the Beatles come to mind really that could match them, and NSYNC obviously.
And NSYNC, Dirty Pop on that was Dirty Pop was a banger.
Stop. I know you like that Dirty
Banger.
Pop. Dirty.
But no,
dirty pop.
it's a shame that I'm not currently getting a ticket unless a dear friend of mine with
Maybe someone
big
watching.
connection,
Maybe someone watching.
with big. I wonder if Alan McGree from Creation Records is a fan of this.
We'll see. We'll find out.
You don't seem to be taking my problem very seriously.
I think there's bigger problems in the world, like, trying to figure out if people can join the Abuku Club or not. That's what's known as a callback in the comedy industry. I heard a rumour, Rory, that your oldest daughter may have lost a tooth finally.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Mate, she was so happy, and I did something amazing. So she'd been desperate for her tooth to come out. It wouldn't go anywhere. It ended up hanging on by a thread. It's like really long.
I saw the picture you put up. It looks brutal, doesn't it? I remember happening it to me, but it looks like it's an open wound in your mouth. But it's actually quite a magical moment.
Yeah, she needed it out. But you know what we did? Rather than just putting money under there, we got the coin.
Bitcoin.
Just
so the kids want these days.
Right? It's this coin.
Ethereum, please.
It's just this coin that's like a picture of the tooth fairy, and it says like, this is a token. But so we put that under the pillow. We're like, oh wow, the actual tooth fairy has come to see. The picture's there, and I think it's her name. Her name's Dazzle or something like that. So
that's the tooth fairy's name, is it? Dazzle Fairy.
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's right.
Good intel.
So it's a big coin. So I was like, look, you can redeem this for anything you want. With like, you can. She was like, I just want to keep this. I was like, oh no.
Explain to her the value of things.
Then I said, okay, look, this feels very unjust. You can keep this, but you can also have a get. And then she went and bought slime, which really upset me.
Oh, they love
the
slime.
One thing that I hate.
I took my little boy to Smith's the other day, and I had a similar thing where if he does a certain thing or achieves a certain thing, one thing.
But,
so we're in Smith's, right? And he's obsessed with Minions. He loves Minions. He watches Despicable Me films on repeat. He knows them. He can literally dictate the films. He loves. He still likes Sonic a lot, Pokemon, all this stuff, and all these options. He chooses like a £3.99 thing of slime.
Do you know what I hate?
And I'm like, you're in a mug.
I hate slime, and I hate kinetic sand.
Oh, kinetic
and they are in my house and on my floor all the time, and I hate them. I hate them, especially slime.
Kinetic sand is easier to clear up.
I hate it
due to the kineticness.
Yes, but it's horrible, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Like, I find it. I go and get a crumpet out of a bread bin and there's kinetic sand in there. I'm like, what's it doing?
Whoever invented that's got blood on their hands. Well, no, we've got sand on our hands, but they've got blood on their hands.
Horrible. Horrible stuff.
But the tooth is out. And what's the going rate these days for a tooth? What sort of bunts we talking?
It was one present. It was one present.
What was the amount that if she goes in and she goes, I want this present, it's a bike, it's 200 quid. Are you giving her that?
This is the beauty, isn't it? This is the beauty of youth and the innocence of youth. There is no value. Anybody adult, if I said you can have one thing in the shop, they are going to start factoring in the monetary value of it. They're going to go, okay, great. I don't even necessarily want this as much, but it's worth more. When people go out for dinner, you see people do it. If I'm ever taking people out for dinner, which I've done quite recently, quite a big table, I made a point of not telling anybody that I was going to pay the bill.
So they order first.
And then I just pay it. Because I know what people are like.
Yeah, they get the filet mignon.
Let's start going and have a bottle of champagne, shall we?
Yeah.
Like, you would never have done that.
Your mates would do that. other people's mates might respect them more.
Yeah, true. True. No, my mates would. But no, it's the beauty of youth that
No,
you
we
could
could
take
learn
her into
something
a
from
shop.
that, couldn't we?
Yeah, you could take her into a shop, and the thing she wanted was the slime, which is a couple of quid.
They're valuing something based on what it's going to bring them in the moment, rather than long term.
Yeah, I've tried to ban slime from my house though, because I really do hate it.
No, it's very annoying, and especially if you have something slimy and then they wash your clothes with the slime
Guess what?
involved.
Guess what? My friend bought
Disaster.
her a make your own slime kit.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
It's like glue. Do you know it's glue?
Yeah. My oldest has got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like sewer system, and it's got a slime, because mutant slime everywhere. It's a disaster, but
it's a malicious present.
But we could learn. It's another example of stuff we can learn from kids because they're just valuing joy in its inherent form rather than valuing money. Because, like I said, my boy chose something for £3. I would have probably bought him something realistically up to 50 quid. Like if he said, "I want that."
Yeah.
After that, I would have said, "Come on." But I got him a bike recently. He's trying to learn the bike cycling.
How's he doing? I thought
Mate,
I thought that was an amazing moment. So is he on stabilisers?
He's on stabilisers. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Do you know the period when you're going to really hurt your back and you're going to run behind holding the seat? The moment where like E.T. flying and you let her go or let him go, and it's unstable and you're running alongside and you're desperately trying, and suddenly they can do it. That was just magic and a moment that will stay with me forever.
A life skill.
It's a life skill. I remember she had a doctor's appointment. She hates missing school. She had a doctor's appointment and she had to miss like the morning of school. And the way, in one morning, she just learned. We went out on the bike with the stabilisers, took the stabilisers off, and then it was me running behind. And after half an hour or so, she kind of...
It clicked.
Do
you know who Tom Swarbrick is?
Yes.
Tom Swarbrick's the LBC presenter. He's got a few clips recently that have gone viral, and I have to say, I'm not a massive LBC fan, but
Nick Ferrari's the boy.
He keeps hitting the nail on the head, this Tom Swarbrick guy. And I was thinking, so my brain works, but you were talking about how Clementine was off school, and then he went and learned to ride the bike. I was thinking, some people be like, you're pulling me out of school, even though you had a reason. He does this clip recently, and he basically says, look, there's a question about whether you should pull your kids out of school to have cheaper holidays. And he basically goes, look, I've done the maths, I've run the data, just do it. Just do it. It's not your fault that the holiday companies are taking the piss out of you and charging you way more. And he's like, the exponential value your kids are going to get from going on a holiday with you long term, and what you can do with them and learn in those holidays, assuming that maybe you couldn't afford to do it in the actual holidays, they're not going to turn around to you in 10 years and go, I can't believe I missed 2 days of year 5, Mum. How dare you do that to me? He's like, the school day does not have as much inherent value in it as they make you think. And even like...
But you're not allowed to do it. It's illegal, isn't it?
No, this is what he's saying. Well,
but you'll get fined.
You get a warning. You get a warning, and then you get a second warning. I think eventually you get a fine. But the point is, like, when we signed my lad up for school, they send this like welcome pack through, and they really go hard on like, your child cannot miss a day. Everyone is underneath 95% or 98% attendance or whatever will get a letter home, all this sort of thing. And I'm like, again, I'm going to upset some people here, but I'm not being funny. The people writing that don't even know what they're talking about. They're just being told by someone who's their boss and the government, you've got to get everyone to turn up for school. But obviously, you shouldn't pull your kids out to like have them sitting at home watching TV. You shouldn't pull them out to like send them to work. And
I don't think you should be pulling them out to go on holiday. I really don't.
Mate, but if you can, people can't afford the holidays in the school holiday term.
What you know, when you make this argument and you make it economic, then it's hard for me to argue. It's like, when you take the mick out of Man City not selling out stadiums and they go, well, there's a cost of living crisis. You're like, okay, I'm not mocking the cost of living crisis, and I'm obviously not making this about people who can afford to go on holiday. But the principle needs to be, you go to school. You do not pull your children out.
Why? Tell me why.
The value of school, the lesson that you teach your children about the routine of school, the dedication that comes from going to school, it will set you up for life.
Yeah, they're still going to go to school hundreds of times that year.
But you're also going to set the precedent that if something comes up that you don't quite fancy, or if something comes up that is beneficial, we will pull the kid out of school, and your kid will learn that as a lesson. It's not a good lesson for the kid to learn.
I disagree. Tom Swarbrick, I'm with you, and I was very happy to see that clip because I obviously, as I've demonstrated in this podcast, have alternative opinions, but it's starting to seep in. like the society is starting to catch up, in my opinion.
I don't think they are. And somebody.
School day needs to stop being heralded as this like thing where you go in and you're getting taught by like Albert Einstein the secret of gravity. Mate, what would you rather be taught by? Someone that's done the thing or someone that's been told how other people did the thing? For example, I remember having 2 business studies teachers at school, right? One of them was the worst teacher I've ever had. I went to a very, very good school, right? And I, as well as one of my best pals' brothers, we both disenrolled ourselves from business studies. I used to, so he actually did way more than me. He actually unenrolled from the A level and sat it independently. Went down and sat in the library, public library, whatever time he had business studies, because that teacher was so bad and it was criminal that he was being allowed to teach there. He did not know a thing. I took a different approach and I ended up getting suspended because of my questioning of his authority. Right. The point is, he was not fit to teach in any school, let alone that school. And he was being allowed to. Let me just finish this point, because we had another business studies teacher who had been teaching for 1 year because he had been a banker and he'd been working in the city and he'd retired and he decided to teach. And he was 1 billion times better. He knew everything he was talking about because he'd done it. He'd done the thing. This guy had never stepped foot outside of a classroom in his life, and he still wasn't good at the actual art of teaching, and he was allowed to stay in that career. Obviously, he's an exception. But I know which one was better. The people that did the thing.
I'm sure there's a varying degree. Of course, there's variance with regards to how good teachers are. But I think it's a very, very dangerous approach from you or from someone on LBC to start suggesting that not going to school can be beneficial or pulling.
But it can be. It shouldn't always be, but it can be, can't it? Do you agree that?
No, not really. Do you know what? I think that you and I, have been incredibly lucky that we have forged careers and done fairly well in a world where we haven't needed to rely upon our academia. 90% of people, there is a direct correlation between how well they do in life, how happy they are in life, and how hard they worked at school and the dedication they demonstrated at school.
I agree with that.
If we start saying on LBC with a huge audience, starts telling people, pull your kids out of school, don't worry about it.
For the holiday, yeah.
This is going to
He said that on This Morning, just so you know, because he's like a guest on there often. He didn't say it on LBC, but he
right, no one watches that, thank God.
The thing is, I do disagree with you though, because like we're not talking. I actually incidentally missed the whole term of school at year 5, by the way. Missed the whole term of school at year 5.
For what reason?
I had glandular fever, quite
you
bad.
Were ill?
No, I was ill. I'm just saying, I still passed my 11 plus.
Yeah, because of all the hard work and dedication that you demonstrated up until year 5. If you're pulled out every year to go on holiday, you probably wouldn't have done.
I got pulled out for a term, not to go on holiday.
Because you were ill.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter the reason. The point is I missed the term of school and didn't suffer from it.
You missed a term in year 5, but year 4, year 3, year 2, year 1, you were dedicated and you were there and you were committed.
We're not talking about, forget my stance on the homeschooling completely, right? We're talking about this heralding you have for a single school day. It's so arbitrary and unrealistic. Like, what happens in the single school day that you can't miss it?
It's a representation.
I missed a term.
A single school day is a representation of a broader school day.
But we're not saying that someone is going to start taking them out 1 day a week now. We're talking about in a very specific situation. Like if I said to you, for example, a child's parent had died and there was a funeral in a school day, you're going to tell them to pull out for that day, right?
Yeah.
So there is a situation where you can believe something is greater than the school day. Obviously, that's an intense example. So strip it back and say, right, there's an opportunity for the first time for a family to take their kids to... And a holiday could be anything, right? It could be sitting on the beach in Lanzarote, or it could be going to the Amazon and seeing creatures that they're never going to see if they don't go. You have to use your own discernment to understand there are loads of examples where pulling your kid out from school will be exponentially better for them than going.
The way that you're phrasing it is, this family can only afford to possibly take their child away on this one particular week, and if they don't,
that is the case for a lot of people.
And if that's the case, then fine, go. But there'll be loads of people that will use that can afford to go, that don't want to spend the extra money, that will use that as an excuse. And if you're doing it for that reason, it would have been far cheaper for me to go this week rather than next week. But I'm going next week because school is on this week. It's like the most basic lesson that you teach your child. You don't go on holiday during term time. You go on holiday during the school holidays.
Listen, I'm not going to argue. You obviously sort of cherish the school day more than I do.
No, it's not about cherish. Fine. I don't cherish. It's just structure. It's just respect for the system and structure.
But why is respect for the system? It depends on the thing, right? We can agree that it depends on the thing you're putting them out for.
And do your homeschooling. Like if the approach is, I actually don't care about the school system. I actually don't care. They say these are the dates, but I don't care about those dates. And those dates are great for you, but they don't apply to me. then yeah, you shouldn't.
No,
go
but
to
you're
school.
conflating.
Because somebody else might have wanted that place at the school.
Yeah.
There's a. I believe that it is very competitive getting into certain schools.
Yeah, of course.
You've taken a place in a school that someone else hasn't taken. You've decided that you're going to have a week off here and
But
there.
we're talking about a day or two. We're not talking about missing 6 weeks of term
But
time.
it's a statement. It's a representation.
If the holiday companies change the prices, I'll change my stance.
No, your stance and their pricing is completely irrelevant.
They're not.
Of course it is. The dates are the dates that are set by the school and set by the curriculum.
And the holiday people price them as a result of them.
Yeah, it's supply and demand. If you wanted to fly to New York this week because Chelsea are playing there, it would be dearer than it would be last week.
I'm going to
That's
save
life.
money. I'm going to save money by paying the fine.
You pay the fine, but it's about respect, and it's about what you're teaching your child. It's about respect for the school.
Yeah.
It's about respect for the place that you've taken in the school, and it's about the lesson that you're teaching your child.
But if I'm being very deliberate with the thing that I'm doing, so I'm saying there is obviously a scale of what that thing you could be. If you're going to sit on a beach in Lanzarote, like, well, fair enough, right? But I'm talking about maybe a really impactful holiday you might take them on that you can only do it.
In your opinion, a really impactful holiday would be an Amazon jaunt. In other people's opinion, a really impactful holiday would be sitting on a beach.
Yeah, and if that's their decision, I think I still support them pulling their kids out because time with your family, time with outside of the,
There'll be a kid somewhere that didn't get into that school, that has to go to a different school, that could be far more inconvenient for the parents, that would have gone. So there's just an empty place there.
This is how the sort of, I'm not saying you have this, so don't take offence, but this is how the sort of like, do what you're told, sheep mentality seeps in. As soon as you start following their rules,
What are you on about?
True.
As soon as you start
This is what
following
schools
their
produce.
rules, like there is no, what does he call it? The Matrix.
The rule-
It's not the Matrix,
Hey,
mate.
I've taken the
It's
red
just
pill.
School.
I have taken
It's
the red
just
pill.
School. There is no like overarching. No, there isn't. There's school. There's 3 terms a year. You study hard during that time. You get your holidays, and you go on holiday during the holidays. This is like the most basic.
Can I just say, this is exactly why I wanted to do this podcast, because it's just like football. We have real different opinions, and I love it, and I respect your opinion entirely, right? But in my opinion, I'm not saying it's some big conspiracy, Rory. What I'm saying is that the people setting these rules, I've seen the pack they sent out. Listen, I'm not saying I don't respect them, but they don't know what's better for my kid more than I do. They do not know, and or do they care? Everything is about numbers. Every decision made for these people is about the best case for the majority. I worry about one child or 2 children. That's who I care about. And ultimately, my decisions have to reflect. And I know what's better for them, better than some person that works in a primary school down the road. I'm sorry. I know exponentially what's better for my kids. I'm not taking your advice. I'll make my own decision.
It's just, it's very difficult to argue
And
with a father saying, I know what's best for my kids. It's impossible to have
the
that
rules have
argument,
to exist because there are obviously people that aren't looking at it the way I'm looking at it, and there are people that will take the piss, and there are people that won't send their kids to school, and there are people that potentially will have their kid doing bad stuff. And there's also a case why school attendance is so important is because sometimes it's protecting the kid. Like sometimes he might be in a dangerous place and you need to make sure he's accounted for and looked after. And I get all that. I'm talking about a very specific example where the parents are very deliberate and they say, I had done the maths and I think it's going to be better for me to do this trip with my kids for them, but I can't afford to do it in that. Well, I don't think I should have to do it.
Do you know what? Victoria's northern from like northeast. There's this thing going on at the moment. It's called the Great Yorkshire Show. It's a real big thing if you're from the north and are into like farming, which is Victoria's family. We wanted to go. We sent an email to the school on the Friday.
First mistake. Don't ask permission first.
On the Friday, she finishes at 12. So she's only going for a couple of hours in the morning. We sent an email to the school saying...
Finish at 12 on a Friday?
Not every Friday, just this particular.
Bloody hell.
We said, can we pull her out? Can she miss it? The school said no. We said, okay, fine, we won't go.
Yeah.
Just respect.
Sheep. Absolute sheep over here. You got the hair for it. You got the nice long locks. You don't ask permission. You ask for forgiveness after. Everyone knows that.
You are. We've come full circle in this podcast because we started this episode by saying, wow, I'm actually the anchor. And it turns out, as the podcast has progressed, we have amplified that theory.
There'll be people that believe you, agree with you on that. There'll be people that I think you're...
Well, there'll be people that believe me, and then there'll be nutters.
In your mind, yes. In your mind, yes. I mean, I had people from last episode in the comments saying that because I favour homeschool, it means that we're all anti-vaxxers or whatever. Like anyone that homeschools their kid is an anti-vaxxer, apparently. I'm actually going to stop using the word homeschool. I'm going to start using the word... Well, there is a word.
But you're not doing it anyway.
People... We will eventually.
Right.
I never wanted to do it at primary school age, but the the word people use is unschooling. That's a better word for it. Do you know why? Because no matter how many times, not saying you get it now, but how many times I've said on this podcast, homeschooling for me does not mean me and Alex teaching the kids. We are not the teachers, and they're not necessarily even in our house. No matter how many times I say that, no one listens to me, and they think they're having an intellectual debate in the comments, but they're idiots because they don't listen to the words I'm saying. And that's not a debate if you're not listening to the other side. I am not saying that. So when they say, oh, taking him out of school, he's not going to be very social, he's going to be sitting at home. My kids ain't going to be sitting at home. They're going to be with groups of other kids who are very interesting debate, interesting personalities and parents doing interesting things. And when you say, oh, going to school's way better because you're with diverse people. No, you're not. You're with kids all the same age. The only thing they have in common is a postcode, right? If you're at a normal like school, not a selective one or anything. That is it. So listen to the points I'm saying before. By all means, criticise me or have a different opinion.
We will.
Have a different opinion. I love it. Because I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm saying I've done the research. And this is what I have come to as an individual. We're not so I'm not using the word homeschool anymore. No, it doesn't have to be at home.
It could be anywhere.
Exactly. Unschooling, world schooling is another
holiday.
phrase people use.
Could be on holiday.
Your life could be like a holiday, yeah.
Amazing.
Or you could just produce a load of sheep.
Like me.
Yeah.
Well, Spencer, it's been eventful.
It's been lovely.
Has it?
Yeah.
I've come to the firm conclusion that for the first time in anything I've ever done, without me, I keep you on the straight and narrow, mate.
I mean, I've done all right for 30 years without you, mate.
I feel like, you know the metronome that just keeps it ticking? I'm that for you. I'm your Claude Makalele.
I think what
this
you
hour
are
a week.
You're my market research in finding out how I don't want to think.
No.
It's quite nice to,
without me, God knows where you'd be. God knows. You would be
on holiday.
You'd be. I reckon you'd be naked dancing in a field, like
not against it.
Doing the Macarena.
I mean,
yeah, mate. I'm keeping you. I'm doing my best.
Got his finger on the pulse of cultural things as ever. Macarena, doing the Vogue as well. Anyway, we'll end this episode there, Rory.
Yes,
it's been a pleasure. I enjoy these debates a lot. This is why I like the idea of doing the pod, because we've had debates like this for football in many years. Yeah. And now we're getting to do another thing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Let us know what you think. Comments below. Obviously, like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. It's very useful. And we will see you on the next one. Bye for now.